Hi students, this is Botany PSR. In the previous class, we discussed about tRNA. Okay, now I am going to explain translation. What is translation means? That is, this mRNA later converts into proteins. This is so called translation. And before that, this DNA becomes mRNA. This is so called transcription. These two processes together called protein synthesis. Okay. So in protein synthesis, how many steps involved? 2 steps. First step is called transcription. Second step is called translation. Okay. Right. This in prokaryotes, transcription and translation, both the steps occur in cytoplasm. Whereas in eukaryotes, transcription occurs in nucleus, whereas translation occurs in cytoplasm. That means both transcription and translation are separated by compartments, isn't it? In prokaryotes, they do not require processing, any processing, that is, no capping, no tailing, no splicing. And in addition to that, single RNA polymerase can synthesize 3 types of RNAs. Whereas in eukaryotes, RNA polymerase 1 synthesizes or transcribes rRNA, RNA polymerase 2 transcribes hnRNA, RNA polymerase 3 transcribes tRNA. So in prokaryotes, single RNA polymerase can transcribes all the 3 types of RNAs. Whereas in eukaryotes, 3 types of RNA polymerases are there, 1, 2, 3. For the respect to 1, 2, 3 respect to rRNA, hnRNA, tRNA are transcribed, isn't it? So later, translation. What is translation? Synthesis of proteins from RNA. This is the second step of protein synthesis. It occurs in cytoplasm. It occurs in cytoplasm, both in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So, polymerization of amino acids is called translation. Okay, right. What are the requirements? What are the requirements in translation? Requirements means, that is, it requires mRNA, it requires ribosomes, it requires tRNAs, it requires amino acids, it requires ATP, it requires enzymes. All these are required for translation process. What are the requirements for translation? Means mRNA, ribosomes, tRNA, amino acids, ATPs, enzymes. These are all required for translation process. Okay? Right. Now, what are the steps? Okay. What are the steps? Steps in translation. Steps in translation. That is, one is activation of amino acid. Second one, transfer of activated amino acid to tRNA. Third one, initiation of polypeptide chain. PPC means polypeptide chain, and elongation of polypeptide chain, and last one, termination of polypeptide chain. Polypeptide chain is nothing but a protein. So how the polypeptide chain will be formed means polymerization of amino acids. So initiation, elongation, termination, these three steps are present both in transcription and translation also, isn't it? Right. These are the 5 steps you have to say in the serial order. Right, one by one we have to discuss. First one, activation of amino acid. Second one, transfer of activated amino acid to tRNA. Third one, initiation of polypeptide chain. Fourth one, elongation of polypeptide chain. Last one, fifth one, termination of polypeptide chain. One by one we have to discuss. Okay? Right. See first one, activation of amino acids. Activation of amino acid, that is, let us suppose this is an amino acid. This number of amino acids are present in cytoplasm. Kinds of amino acids 20 kinds of amino acids are present in cytoplasm. So these amino acids, ATP is required. So translation is an energy required process. You have to say true. For each amino acid, one ATP is required. An enzyme is also required, amino acyl synthetase. Amino acyl synthetase. So for one amino acid, one ATP is required and one enzyme is required, and this amino acid will be activated. Like this I represented. This one is so called activated amino acid. Activated amino acid. So activation of amino acid means for each amino acid ATP is required and enzyme is also required. What is that enzyme? Amino acyl synthetase. Then amino acid will be activated. Now this is so called activated amino acid. This is so called activated amino acid. Activated amino acid. So for one amino acid, one ATP is required. If 10 amino acids, 10 ATPs are required. That means number of amino acids is equal to number of ATPs. If one serine, one particular enzyme, leucine, one particular enzyme, that is number of kinds of amino acids. Kinds of amino acids is equal to number of kinds of enzymes. Okay? Again I am telling, number of amino acids is equal to number of ATPs. Another formula, number of kinds of amino acids is equal to number of kinds of enzymes. Next, second step. What is the second step? Activated amino acid attached to tRNA, or it is also called transfer of activated amino acid to tRNA. Okay? Alright. That means let us suppose this is the activated amino acid. Isn't it? Activated amino acid. For this tRNA, like this I am drawing tRNA. Okay, this is activated amino acid and this is tRNA diagram. And what is formed means like this we have to show. Activated amino acid. Activated amino acid is attached to tRNA. Now this is so called charged tRNA. This is activated amino acid. Activated amino acid. This is tRNA. this activated amino acid is attached to tRNA. At which end this amino acid is attached means 3 end of tRNA. That's why this 3 end is also called amino acid binding site, also called amino acid acceptor site. Okay, now this is so called charged tRNA. It is also called amino acylation of tRNA. That is, amino acid is attached to tRNA, no? That's why it is so called charged tRNA or amino acylation of tRNA or charging of tRNA. Okay, so like this, first of all, amino acid should be activated. The activated amino acid should be attached to tRNA. So that is the next coming. These two processes are all common to coming tRNAs. Okay, so this one is so called charged tRNA, charged tRNA or charging of tRNA, also called amino acylation of tRNA. So the coming tRNAs should be the charged tRNAs. Charged tRNAs means activated amino acid is attached to 3 end of tRNA. Which end? Amino acid is attached to which end? 3 end of tRNA. So this is so called charged tRNA. Next, third step is initiation of polypeptide chain. Shall I rub it? Okay. Right, next one, initiation of polypeptide chain. Initiation of polypeptide chain. Let us suppose this is the mRNA, this is the 5 end and this is the 3 end. Okay, mRNA contains codons. The initiator codon on mRNA must be AUG. So AUG has dual functions, no? One, it codes for methionine. It also acts as initiator codon or start codon. The start codon on mRNA is, you have to write only AUG. Don't say other codon. So what is the start codon on mRNA? AUG. Other codons you may write anything. Let us suppose CAU. Okay, right. What are the subunits in prokaryotes means what type of ribosomes do you find in prokaryotes? 70S. 70S means subunits 50S, 30S, isn't it? 50S is the larger subunit and 30S is the smaller subunit. First of all, the smaller subunit is bind. Which subunit is bind? That is 30S. So the smaller subunit of ribosome is attached to mRNA. Okay, next one. AUG CAU. This is the 30S, no? After 30S, larger subunit is binded. Larger subunit contains how many sites means this is P site and this is A site. So the larger subunit contains 2 sites. Left side is called P site, peptidyl site. Right side is called A site, that is acceptor site. Okay. So the larger subunit contains how many sites? 2 sites. Left side is called P site. Right side is called A site. Don't change that sides. Left, this is left, this is right. Left side is called P site. Full name peptidyl site. Right side is called acceptor site or amino acyl site. Okay. Right. So now this is the start codon. No? See, this is the 3 and this is the 5N. AUG CAU. This is the 30S and this is the 50S. Okay, the initiator tRNA with anticodon. If AUG means what is the function of tRNA? tRNA comes and reads the genetic message on mRNA. What is the codon on mRNA? AUG. AUG means the anticodon must be A. U pairs with A, G pairs with C. This is the initiator tRNA. So this is amino acid 1. Okay, now it comes to which site? Which site? P site. So always first charged tRNA enters into P site and all other remaining charged tRNAs enters into A site. This point you have to remember. Okay, right. First charged tRNA or initiator charged tRNA always enters into P site. Okay, so it is entering. Now it is entered UAC, isn't it? So that one you have to remember. So AUG is fixed, no? What is the start codon on mRNA? AUG. So AUG direction polarity 5N to 3N and tRNA anticodon polarity 3N to 5N. That one also, polarity is also important, right? So charged tRNA, initiator charged tRNA always enters into, that is initiator means first one, first charged tRNA always enters into P site and remaining all other charged tRNAs enters into A site. That one you have to remember. So it is coming, that means amino acid 1. Okay, it came. Okay, this first amino acid initiator tRNA enters into which site? A site. That is important. Remaining all other charged tRNAs enters into A site. So what is the start codon on mRNA? AUG. What is the anticodon of initiator tRNA means? UAC. Polarity 3 to 5. So this is the initiation of polypeptide chain. Again I am telling, first of all, initiation of polypeptide chain begins with binding of smaller subunit or larger subunit. Smaller subunit is binded and later larger subunit is binded. What is the larger subunit means? 50S. What are the specialities means? This larger subunit contains two sites, P site and A site, and later on initiator charged tRNAs enters into P site and remaining all other tRNAs enters into A site. So that is initiator charged tRNA enters into P site. So that is first amino acid enters into P site. Okay, so this is about initiation of polypeptide chain. Next step means that is elongation of polypeptide chain. Elongation means, let us suppose this is the mRNA. This mRNA has 5 end, 3 end, and AUG we have write CAU. Okay, so here first amino acid UAC. This first amino acid must be the methionine. AUG codes for methionine. So this first amino acid must be the methionine. Right, here what is the codon? CAU. The initiator, that is amino acid 2, enters into which site? This site is so called A site. So second charged tRNA enters into A site. So entering, that means AUG, CAU and UAC. This is amino acid 1 and entering means entered. C, that is what is the anticodon? GUA. C pairs with G, A pairs with U pairs with A. It is entering, entered. This is the amino acid 2. So between two amino acids, peptide bond is formed. This peptide bond is formed in the direction of C to N direction. Peptide bond grows in the direction of C to N direction. Between two amino acids, peptide bond is formed. This is so called dipeptide. Don't say monopeptide. It is dipeptide. That is, it depends upon the number of amino acids. So how many amino acids are there? 2 amino acids. How many ATPs are required? 2 ATPs are required. Wherever that peptide bond is formed, there one H2O molecule is released. That is so called dehydration. Okay? Dehydration. When peptide bond is formed, removal of one water molecule occurs. That is so called dehydration. So number of amino acids 2. Number of ATPs required in the previous step we noted no. In the previous step, in the number of amino acids 2 means number of ATPs required 2. That means for each amino acid 1 ATP is required. So 2 amino acids are there means 2 ATPs are there. Number of peptide bonds 1. Number of dehydrations 1. Right. So peptide bond grows in the direction of C to N direction. Later on see AUG, CAU, CGG. UAC, and this is GUA. So this is second amino acid, this is first amino acid. Okay, so the ribosome, this is N and this is the 3N. The ribosome moves in this direction. That means movement of ribosome is in 5 to 3 direction. Ribosome moves in the direction of 5 to 3 and ribosome moves one codon at a time. One codon at a time. So that is ribosome moves one codon at a time. One codon to another codon. So when ribosome moves in this direction, the charged tRNA which is present A side comes to P site. See, AUG, CAU, CGG. Okay, so when ribosome moves here means like this it will be found, isn't it? And this is GUA. This is amino acid 2 and amino acid 1. Where is the tRNA means? When after the formation of peptide bond, tRNA is separated from amino acid. tRNA is fall off in the cytoplasm only. Alright. So ribosome moves in the direction of 5 to 3. One codon at a time. So the ribosome moves like this. Isn't it? So that is the charged tRNA which is present at A side comes to A side comes present at A side comes to P side. So that is, then A site is empty. Now C pairs with G pairs with C. This is the third amino acid coming to A site. Coming to A site means coming. So C, G, C coming. So that is amino acid 3. So peptide bond is formed. Peptide bond is formed between two amino acids. Peptide bond grows in the direction of C to N direction. C to N. How many amino acids are there? 2 amino acids are there. How many amino acids are there? 3 amino acids are there in this diagram. 3 amino acids means 3 ATPs are required. Number of peptide bonds 2. Number of dehydrations 2. Okay? Right. Next one. So this is the, let us suppose this is the 5 end and this is the 3 end. Now look at here. AUG, this is the 5 end. CAU, CGG, ACU. So now the ribosome moves in the direction of 5 to 3. Ribosome moves in the direction of 5 to 3. Ribosome moves in the direction of 5 to 3 means the charged tRNA which is at 3N comes to P site. Then A site is empty. It is so called translocation. Translocation. Involved enzyme is translocase. Okay? So GCC, this is amino acid 3, amino acid 2, amino acid 1. Where is that tRNAs means? tRNAs are separated from amino acid after the peptide bond formation. After the completion of peptide bond formation, tRNA is separated from amino acid. Okay? So ribosome moves in the direction of 5 to 3. Then the charged tRNA, when ribosome moves in the direction of 5 to 3, the charged tRNA which is at 3N comes to P site. The shifting of charged tRNA from A site to P site by translocase enzyme is called translocation. Translocation occurs in the direction of 3 to 5, like this. Ribosome moves in the direction of 5 to 3, 1 codon at a time. And shifting of charged tRNA or transfer of charged tRNA from A site to P site by translocase is called translocation. This translocation occurs in the direction of 3 to 5. Okay? Now, which site is empty? A site is empty. Now, the coming A pairs with U, C pairs with G, U pairs with A. This is amino acid 4 coming. Okay, it came U, G, A. Okay, so fourth amino acid is entering. So when it enters means peptide bond is formed. Peptide bond is formed. That peptide bond grows in the direction of, occurs in the direction of C to N direction. C to N direction. C to N direction. So like this, it continues so on up to it reaches stop codon. Up to it reaches stop codon. According to this diagram, how many amino acids are there? 4 amino acids. Number of amino acids 4. Number of ATP required 4. Number of peptide bonds 3. Number of dehydrations 3. Like that you have to take. So, and like that it continues. So, the ribosome moves in the direction of 5 to 3, and then charge tRNA is shifted from A site to P site. And last step, that is termination of polypeptide chain. Termination of polypeptide chain. And this is the 5 end. AUG, CAU, CGG, ACU, and so on. Finally, UAA. What does it UAA represents? It represents a stop codon. It represents a stop codon. Let us suppose here so many codons are there, and finally GAC. Okay, and maybe C, G pairs with C, A pairs with U, C pairs with G. Maybe this may be the 15th amino acid. Let us suppose 15th amino acid means 15th amino acid, and 16th codon will be the stop codon. What happens? Now, releasing factors. RF means releasing factors. Releasing factors recognize the stop codon. Who will recognize the stop codon? Releasing factor recognize the stop codon and bind to stop codon. Then polypeptide chain is stopped. Whenever the stop codon is there means there is no that type of tRNAs. That is no anticodons for stop codons. No stop codons. That is no tRNAs for stop codons. So that is there are no tRNAs for stop codons. What are stop codons? UAA, UAG, UGA. Complementary tRNAs means A pairs with U, U pairs with A pairs with U, A pairs with U. And this one, U pairs with A pairs with U, G pairs with C. And this one, U pairs with A, G pairs with C, A pairs with U. This type of tRNAs are absent. So, the tRNAs with anticodons are not existed are AUU, AUC, ACU. That is, don't by heart these codons, anticodons. You have to remember the stop codons. Complementary to stop codons, those anticodons are not existed. Okay, right. This type of tRNAs are not existed. That's why those type of tRNAs are not coming. So always stop codon occupies at which site? A site. At which site? A site. See, let us suppose in this diagram 15 amino acids are there means this is also a codon. So number of codons means 15 amino acids means 15 sense codons. This is one stop codon. This one is so called termination codon. Total codons 16. Total codons 16. Minus 1 is equal to number of sense codons. 15 means 14 sense codons. 15 sense codons plus 1. Total codons 16. In this diagram, codons is equal to 16. Sense codons is equal to 15. Amino acids is equal to 15. Number of ATPs is equal to number of ATPs required is equal to number of amino acids is equal to number of ATPs. Number of dehydrations. Number of dehydrations is equal to amino acids minus 1. Number of amino acids is equal to minus 1, that is 14. Number of translocations. Number of translocations means 14. That is number of amino acids minus 1. That is for first amino acid there is no translocation. For first amino acid there is no dehydration involvement. Okay. Why? Because the first charged tRNA always enters into P site and remaining all other charged tRNA enters into A site. Okay. So like this we have to calculate. So what is the importance of releasing factor? RF means releasing factors recognize the termination codon and they will stop the termination of polypeptide chain and they will prevent the synthesis of polypeptide chain or protein. So like this termination of polypeptide chain is completed. Okay. So what we have to discuss it means 5 steps are involved. We have to say in the correct order. First of all, activation of amino acid. Second one, activated amino acid is transferred to tRNA. Next one, initiation of polypeptide chain. Next one, elongation of polypeptide chain. Next one, termination of polypeptide chain. Right. If we go through like this, one ribosome movement we observed. If we observe more than one ribosome, see how many ribosomes are traveled means how many ribosomes? Ribosomes is equal to 4. One ribosome, second one, third one, 4. A group of ribosomes on mRNA is called polysome. A group of ribosome on mRNA is called polysome or polyribosome. This polysome structure will be observed during translation process. This entire translation occurs in cytoplasm. In eukaryotes, this hnRNA is formed. This hnRNA undergoes capping, tailing and splicing, and then fully processed mRNA is formed inside the nucleus. Then that fully transcribed mRNA is transported from nucleus to cytoplasm. So as translation occurs in cytoplasm means mRNA is present in cytoplasm. So that is that fully transcribed mRNA is transported from nucleus to cytoplasm. Okay. Right. Here number of ribosomes 4. Number of PP chains 4. Number of ribosomes is equal to number of polypeptide chains, number of proteins. Okay. Next, number of mRNAs. Number of mRNAs 1 type. Type of mRNA. Number of mRNAs 1. Type of proteins. Type of proteins is also 1. This is mRNA is 1. So this sequence and this sequence and this sequence and this sequence, all these proteins are similar kind. Why? Because the sequence of amino acids will depend upon the sequence of nitrogen base on mRNA. So this mRNA sequence is only 1 type means that's why all these proteins are 1 kind. So that is number of ribosomes 4, number of proteins 4. That means number of ribosomes is equal to number of proteins. Proteins are nothing but polypeptide chains. Number of mRNAs 1. Type of proteins, all these type proteins are 1 kind. So number of mRNAs 1. Number of types of proteins 1. Okay. You please note down all these points, my dear students. Now translation unit. It is not transcription unit, it is translation unit. Transcription unit contains how many genes? 3 genes: promoter, structural gene and terminator. Similarly, it is translation unit. Translation unit means this is the mRNA 5 end 3 end. This is the start codon and this is the stop codon. This is the stop codon and this is the start codon. This is the stop codon. Okay. So the sequence of mRNA flanked by start codon and stop codon. That is, from start codon to stop codon. This is so called translation unit. So that is the sequences from start codon to stop codon all together called translation unit. That is the sequence of RNA flanked by start codon and stop codon. That is from start codon to stop codon. This entire thing is so called translation unit. That means we have to include start codon and stop codon. Whether the translation unit includes start and stop codons? Yes. Okay. Right. This is translation unit. And here you may find UTR. Here you may find UTR. UTR means untranslated regions. Untranslated regions. What are UTR? Untranslated regions. So UTR's full form, untranslated regions. These UTRs are present both at 5 end and 3 end. Both at 5 end and 3 end. At 5 end, where do you find UTRs? Before start codon. And here after start codon. This UTR is present after stop codon. And this UTR is present before start codon. So that is, what are UTRs means? Full form, untranslated regions. That is, untranslated means not useful for translation, not involved in translation. Okay, right. Where do you find? Is that UTRs are present only at one end? No. Those UTRs are present both at 5 end and 3 end. At 5 end, where do you find? Before start codon or after start codon? These UTRs are present before start codon. These UTRs are present at after stop codon. Okay. And what are those UTRs are useful for? UTRs are useful for efficient translation process. What the purpose of UTRs means? That is, these are useful for efficient for translation. So UTRs are responsible for efficient of translation. So number of UTRs means 1 and this is the second. Number of UTRs means 2. What is the role of UTRs means? These are useful for efficient of translation, not efficient of translation. Don't say not efficient. These are useful for efficient of translation. That is very, very important. These are useful for efficient translation process. Okay. So what is translation unit means? The region between start codon and stop codon. That is so called translation unit. Before start codon, UTR present. After stop codon, UTR present. So at both 5 end and 3 end, UTRs are present. Number of UTRs 2. What is their role? UTR means these are useful for efficient of translation. for efficiency, those are useful for efficiency of translation. Very, very important concept, my dear students, and I hope you are understanding this one. This translation is nothing but a simple complicated, and try to understand this one. I hope you are understood this one, right? If you, I am giving some numerical. Let us suppose this mRNA contains 20 codons. mRNA contains 20 codons. Number of amino acids it codes in that protein, means amino acids in a protein, number of amino acids in a protein is equal to how many? Let us suppose like this you have to draw. That means how many codons means 19 sense codons and only one termination codon. This termination codon does not code for amino acid. So 19 sense codons means 19 amino acids. 19 amino acids. 19 amino acids means this is number of amino acids in a protein means 19. This is the answer. Number of ATPs required means 19 ATPs. Number of peptide bonds, number of amino acids minus 1, 18. Number of amino acids minus 1, number of peptides, number of peptide bonds is equal to amino acids minus 1, and number of translocations also. Number of translocations also for these two, number of amino acids minus 1, that is 18 translocations. Number of dehydrations means number of amino acids minus 1, that is 18. Number of peptide bonds is equal to number of dehydrations. Okay, like this you have to calculate the numericals. Okay, please note down these points, my dear students, and we will meet in the next class.